if we're living a mundane sort of matrix filled life, we can either choose to wake up once we see that we have the power to do that, or we can stay in a comfort zone. Hey y'all, welcome back to Holistic Flow. I am your girl Lolo. In today's video, I'll be talking about movies that helped me wake up, movies that helped enlighten me. I did a video previously a couple of months ago about, and it was titled Thoughts and Conspiracies That I Think Randomly Every Single Day. And that was the first time I did a video like that, but y'all seem to really enjoy it. So for you all who like videos about things that you think on the daily that you don't think other people are thinking, but you're thinking it and you're wondering if other people are thinking it, and then you find out that people think it, and then you're glad that you're not the only one, this is the video for you. I have a list of movies in front of me that I've seen that have helped me realize things that, and I know movies are just they are movies, right? They're often not reality. And sometimes media is meant to more so inspire the mind more than make us think that, oh, this is actually what's really going on in the world. However, not to take things literally, but in my own experience, in my own realizations, a lot of movies that I've seen have actually ignited a light inside of my brain that said, actually, this is resonating heavily. And I have a whole list of movies. I don't believe I'll get to every single one. Now, most of these are movies, reality movies, and I have realized lately that some forms of media are just not a good influence on the brain and our way of thinking. One main source of that would be reality TV. I just recently stopped watching reality TV because it's not real. And a lot of the movies that are meant to inspire the mind, they should be watched in moderation. And also these are movies that I had to reflect on a lot before I went ahead and talked about it in another conversation. So the first movie that I'm going to talk about today is Disney Pixar's movie called Inside Out. And by the way, none of these movies are in any way recent. So there won't be any spoilers, but you can find these on any of the subscription apps that you watch. But Inside Out is a Disney Pixar movie about a young girl who's probably about 10 or 11, and she starts to have just feelings and emotions that she doesn't know how to describe yet. And she only knew the emotions of joy, sadness, anger, and disgust. And I think that's it. Those 4 emotions. And it's about emotional development. And sometimes there are experiences that you don't know how to put words to. And her emotions went all out of whack. The whole movie is a visualization of what happens, I think, honestly, when our hormones get out of whack. And this happens during adolescence, but can happen during multiple times in our life where we lose the inability to feel certain emotions. So the movie starts where she's going through some things where her family's moving around and she is in a place that's no longer familiar and she doesn't enjoy it. She moved away from her friends, so she's starting to feel a little bit out of place. And it visually shows that joy and sadness leave her brain. So the only feelings that she's able to feel are fear, anger, and disgust. Because joy and sadness are nowhere to be found in her consciousness or in her subconscious. So it's about the journey of joy and sadness leaving her subconscious and going deep into whatever other crevices, and on their way trying to get back to her subconscious is carrying feelings back with them to develop her emotional intelligence, or a higher sense of emotional intelligence. And a lot of things happened on the way that showed what happens in the subconscious mind, like gaining the autonomy over what is fact and what is opinion, and do a fact and opinion really matter anyway, and what happens when we lose old memories and we gain a certain level of respect for certain memories. And just because a memory once was happy doesn't mean it can change into a sad memory, or vice versa. Our thoughts and our feelings and emotions are flexible, and limiting ourselves to calling an emotion just one thing sometimes doesn't suit us. And going through those emotions, which really she was just going through, I can't even really describe it, but it's just dissociation. She didn't have emotion on her face. So I feel like we've all gone through those type of times, and it was just so relatable to me. The next movie I'm gonna talk about is a movie called Inception. And any Leonardo DiCaprio movie, I think Leonardo DiCaprio has never had a bad movie. Matter of fact, he's never had a not good movie. He's just Leonardo DiCaprio. So this movie is about, I don't know, they work for some type of secret society or whatever, where they basically go in their subconscious mind, and in their subconscious mind they go into a dreamlike state where they can build a scene and go in there and manipulate things so that they happen in quote unquote real time. But the whole gag is, I'm not going to spoil the movie just in case you haven't watched it, but basically they can go inside of a dream, inside of a dream, inside of a dream. And the whole concept of it is that when you're inside of that dream like state, you are manipulating time in real life, or what your perception of real life is. And when you go in that dream, they went in the dream with multiple people, you have to keep a grasp of what is reality, so that you don't do something in the dreamlike state in order to conflict with what your current reality is, because then your whole world will fall apart. And talking more so about the way that reality is, and not more so the movie, is that sometimes it seems like dreams are reality. I've thought to myself, what if the dream is the actual reality? And then once we're here, we're so caught up in this version of reality that we think this is the real reality. Because let's be honest, you think when you're in the dream, that's reality to you, because you don't remember any other reality when you're dreaming. I feel for people who say that they don't dream. I know that some people have gifts to where they can see things that are going to happen in the future in their dreams. I've personally gotten many different messages through my dreams. My subconscious tells me things that are happening or going to happen, honestly, in my life through my dreams. So dreams are very important to me. They're a very important part of my health, and also my relationship with the Most High, my relationship with God is very important to me. And so accessing that ability to dream is sort of a balance out to this world, this reality, because sometimes in your dreams you live out things that you wish would have happened in your real world. So that movie kind of touches on it, but in a way that kind of flips it and says, well, what if the dream was the real, and then this was our actual dream? Hello, Lock Kings and Queens. Do you want to develop a holistic lock care regimen that aligns with your individual beliefs? Do your family and friends just not get your decision to go on your lock journey, but you're still seeking guidance in maintaining a happy, healthy, and hydrated crown? And do you want to better understand how your hair carries negative and positive energy, so you can better know how to protect your energy and regulate your nervous system, relieve stress and anxiety, and feel overall healthier? Well, I am truly excited to share something special with you. Are you ready to embark on a journey like no other? I present to you all Crown Connection, a 5-day nature transformation to embody your highest self through a holistic lock journey. This isn't just a retreat. It is a transformational experience designed for you, whether you're in month 3 of your journey or year 3. We're talking about glamping in the heart of nature. Imagine luxury cabin accommodations, cozy private style bunk rooms, and stunning mountain views. I've curated this soul-nourishing experience for you to empower you, help boost your self-awareness, workshops created to personalize your lock maintenance routine, and help you release those limiting beliefs so you can step into your power. This is a co-ed experience for femininity and masculinity to represent itself. And the fun does not stop there. We have daily yoga and meditation practice, plant medicine workshops, and happy hour daily. And of course, a lot of downtime to connect with Mother Earth, hikes and hammocks, and tea time. So mark your calendars for May 23rd through May 27th, 2024. I'm hosting this luxury style camping retreat at River Mountain Resort in Everett, Pennsylvania. Are you ready to reset, renew, and refresh? Because you won't leave the same way that you came. The early bird sale for the retreat is now open, but you have to act fast because spots are limited. And if you sign up with the early bird sale, you'll become a VIP where you'll get more flexible payment plans and a step-by-step guide from me on how to start your holistic lock care maintenance routine from start to finish. And you'll also get a VIP welcome session to help you prepare for the transformational journey that you'll have during this retreat. I can't wait to see you there. The next movie I'm going to talk about is the movie Free Guy. I recently saw this movie and I actually didn't see the very end of the movie, but I read about how it ended either way. And in this movie Free Guy, the main character, Ryan, whatever his last name is, I respect him, but I just don't remember his last name at this point. He is a character in a video game, but he doesn't know that he's a character in a video game. And the type of character that he is an NPC, a non-player character. So in the movie, he actually ends up falling in love with this player character, and he doesn't realize that he is in a simulation. He is a person who wants to fall in love with this girl and be with somebody, and he knew that he always wanted to be with somebody, and that was the only thing missing in his life because everything else was fine. He's an NPC, so life feels amazing for him. He does the same thing every single day and he doesn't have to worry about anything else. Goes to work, goes to sleep, eat, repeat. Does that sound like somebody's life? Anyways, yeah, so he realizes that all of the player characters, which he didn't know they were player characters at the time, but he realizes that all of them wear sunglasses. So I think one day he accidentally killed a player character in the video game. He puts on these sunglasses that they wear and he's like, whoa, it's like night and day. He puts on the sunglasses and he can instantly see all of basically the Matrix, which I'm going to talk about this after this movie. I'm going to talk about the Matrix and recircle back. But he can basically see what I identify as the Matrix in his world. He sees the video game world. And so he realizes that he has some access to tap into this player character mode, and then he starts to become a player character. Long story short, he ends up trying to get other non-player characters to see that they can also become player characters in their life if they choose to get up out of their own way. Whew! Did that hit somebody's spirit? I think it hit me because I actually saw the movie and it was recent. And when I saw the movie, I just saw it in a whole other light because there was a scene where, he had a best friend in the movie. He had on the sunglasses, right? And he's going around and he's going around with these sunglasses and he's like, he's telling his friend like, yo, you need to put on the sunglasses. Just put them on. I promise you, it's going to change your life. And his friend was too scared. There was something keeping him from putting on the sunglasses. And it's sort of like when you try to wake somebody else up. You ever had a friend or family member who you try to just give them some piece of advice, give them something because you see that their life could be something more than it is. And because you've done it for yourself, you understand and recognize that a lot of people out here are just going around seeing other people with the sunglasses on, seeing other people be the pioneers, so to speak, of their life. And they're looking at them like, dang, I wish I could wear the sunglasses. I wish I could be the pioneers of my life. But you can, though. Who said that you can't? Who told you that you can't? Nobody. That means you're in your own way. You're the one who won't pick up the sunglasses. So that movie really showed, number one, that if we're living a mundane sort of matrix-filled life, we can either choose to wake up once we see that we have the power to do that, or we can stay in a comfort zone, right? And so that brings me into obviously the other movie that's kind of like intertwined with this whole theme of being able to uncover this veil, right? Which is The Matrix. The movie The Matrix. I mean, everybody knows the movie. If you haven't seen the movie, there's 4 movies, by the way, but of course the first movie is like terrific. Go watch it if you haven't seen it. This idea of being able to see something that was already there, always there, but you just have to push your hand through that little dome thing, that dome code thing, and then step into this other reality that you choose. And you can choose to take the red pill or the blue pill. That was the whole idea with like choosing to take the sunglasses, choosing to remove this filter that we all have on our lives, because at the end of the day, everything is filtered. Believe it or not, everybody's reality is different. Everyone's reality is different than the next person's reality. So who's to say that somebody's reality is right and another person's reality is wrong? Who's to say that we'll actually know what the one true reality is? Because we'll always have a filter over our eyes. You know, this whole experience of being a human being is honestly, another person chooses what your name is, chooses what type of clothes that you wear, chooses, and then eventually you have a say in what clothes that you'll wear, who you're going to call yourself, how you walk, how you talk, the people that you're going to hang around with. But it's still already been shaped by society, by another person, by your parents. And not that those things are wrong to do, but it's just the way that things are. They are perceived by lenses that are outside of how we would have perceived it if we were blank slate. That was a mouthful. Let me know how you thought about that in the comments. I could talk forever about this, but I don't want this video to be too long. Let me know if you want a part 2. I actually have 2 more movies that I want to talk about. Let's go to the second to last movie. And this movie is called Don't Worry, Darling. It's actually pretty recent. I think it came out in 2020 or 2018, 2019 or something like that. It's actually pretty recent, right? The movie is in essence about a couple, a woman and a man, and they live in, what is it, like the 50s or the 40s? They live in the 40s or 50s, where the woman, traditionally, she cooks and cleans, and that's pretty much it. She cooks, cleans, and makes sure the house is good. And then her husband in the movie goes to work. She has no idea where he goes, and then he comes back. What is her name? I forgot what her name is. But anyways, she starts to suspect that something is up, and starts to find out essentially that she is living in some sort of simulation that somebody put her in. And in reality, she is in the simulation being manipulated into thinking that her life is supposed to be like this in order to have an ideal life. But she never had that life to begin with, and she never chose that life. The essence of this movie, let me say this beforehand, there was another character named Margaret who was a housewife of another character in the movie. And Margaret was a character in that movie who everyone thought was crazy, because Margaret just said things like, we shouldn't be here. Why are we here? we need to leave. I need to go. I need to get out. She said stuff like that, and she always was sort of rebellious to the idea of living where they were. I hope this is making sense. And as you start to see that, oh, this movie is literally about them living in a simulation, Margaret knew that all along. And because everyone else was too afraid to succumb to the truth, because you could kind of see that based upon other people's faces, when they also found out that everybody was living in this simulation, they had expressions of horror, of terror, but you actually found out that some people, in the back of their minds, they had an inkling. It's like you wake up and then something just does not feel right. But Margaret knew in her heart all along, and everybody else tried to make her seem like she was crazy. My thoughts about this is that a lot of times the word crazy or like insane, or you need to go to an insane asylum, or you need to go here or there to get your mind right, sometimes it's not that they're crazy. It's just that they can see things that other people can't. And when we feel like we don't belong in a place, and you can just sometimes feel like when you're in a certain setting, when you go out somewhere, you feel in your heart that it's something not right with this place, that I need to go, I need to get out of here. And sometimes you can't even explain why. You just know innately you shouldn't be there. And everybody else will be looking at you like you're the crazy one. But don't think like that, because whatever you innately feel is the truth, and that's that on that. And then the last movie I'll talk about is The Truman Show. I've talked about this before, actually, on the same video where I talked about other conspiracies. And The Truman Show is a Jim Carrey movie. Jim Carrey plays a guy that has a generic life. He has a wife who is a housewife. He goes to work and does the same thing every day. He lives in a simulation too, and his whole life is being recorded for the whole entire world to watch as an ongoing television show about his life, about Truman's life. And he's been lied to by everyone around him. His wife is lying to him about who he truly is, his friend. So it's sort of like the people in his life had been placed there to keep him feeble-minded about where he was. And when he tried to escape, of course, people came after him, because the whole production company was making money off of this idea that The Truman Show, which was the show about his life, is the first ongoing lifelong TV show. And believe it or not, when I was really, really young, I had this idea that I was being kind of like watched. Now it sounds crazy, but I had this idea that people knew what I was doing at home, at school. I didn't go to work because I was young. I was in like elementary school, but wherever I went, people knew what I was doing. And I know a lot of other people can relate to that feeling of being watched all the time. And The Truman Show is a movie, I feel like, that alludes to that feeling of having no privacy, or, our phones watching us, or your laptop. You need to cover your camera, because everything around us, especially technology, we're so much more hyper aware of the fact that we don't have the privacy that we think we have. And we hear information about articles about apps that are selling people's information, about TikTok. I don't want to get demonetized if that's a demonetization issue, but it is real. And let me know if you've ever related to that feeling of not having privacy, or that everyone can just have access to your information, to your life at any time. So yeah, that was I guess, about 5 movies that have just enlightened me inside and woke me up about some things. Let me know what resonated with you the most, and if you want a part 2, give this video a thumbs up and comment down below part 2. I hope to see you in the next video, but until then, I'm sending peace your way, love your way, and joy to you, your family, and your friends. All right, y'all. Peace.